invitational change makes it a bit tough. So,
yeah, it was, and the length of those par fives as well. You know, I was doing a lot of Capitan roll-ons onto the green. Basically, one of them I didn't quite get onto, but I chipped in, but it didn't quite get there.
Yeah, those long par fives are just pointless. But if I get stuck with a couple of headwind shots, then hopefully I can give the old wedge. If I get stuck with a couple of headwind shots, then
that's the plan. And I didn't actually need the wedge. I didn't need the ruler for the wedge because I was in no adjust. So I was happy enough with that. That's the plan. And I didn't actually need the wedge. I didn't need the ruler for the wedge down on the leaderboard. There's a lot of things in front of me, but I think a lot of people have used balls other than just a D1.
Yeah. I think I'm probably already live, actually. This is all coming through, but... Alright. Here we go. Imagine all that you need to make perfect adjustments in the palm of your hand with the most advanced ultimate golf wind calculator on the market.
You have a lot of practice pins.
Improving your game across all formats with guidance from the very best players in the game.
Actually, it's so funny. I use it sometimes for part 3, actually, just to see where the bounce is. So
unlock the secrets of the game and compete at the highest level.
I just never used them. I'd quite like to be able to remove the button from the corner.
You don't have to imagine it anymore.
Because you get them with the UPC.
It's here.
So
Ultimate Golf Caddy. Get the app.
So I've only used, I hardly use them, but once in a while.
I think I used one, and that was just to see what it did, how they actually work more than anything.
Yeah.
Well, hello
guys. It did work for me.
You're already hearing a couple of voices there, but that's not me. That's a good friend from Swing Fanatics. But I just wanted to welcome everyone. Today I had planned to show my video. You were going to get to see my ugly head on screen, but unfortunately technology got the better of me today. So we're just going to do a regular stream, but what I'm going to go through today is the Bandit Invitational round, and I'm playing everything with Pro Ds. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but this will be good for the people who don't have a lot of ball stocks and who want to get an idea of how I go about things with the Pro D. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. I have a couple of guests with me today, and we might have a few more joining. There's some of my good friends from the Swing Fanatics. I've got Jeannie online. Hey, Jeannie. Jeannie's on
Silent Jeannie. Back in the
I'm
bottle.
trying to unmute myself. I went to panic mode for a second.
Very good. Well done.
Hi.
Hello. And I also have Aaron Clark, who is not quite an Aussie, but a guy that desperately wants to be an Aussie. Isn't that right, mate?
He lives here because he earns more money here, not so much that he wants to be one.
Hey, that's a bit rough. All right, so I'm going to get straight into it. If anyone else joins us, just say hello. I'll just be playing along. And if you guys in the chat have any questions, whether it's about the caddy or just about the game in general, by all means, jump in and ask your questions, and I'll try and answer it as best I can. All right, so as I said, I'm going to do this whole round just using Pro Ds. That will make things a little bit more challenging, but there's a few holes where there's a pretty good opportunity to get a decent drop here. So let's give it a crack. Thankfully, I've got a bit of a tailwind here on the first hole. But I'm just quickly... You'll get to see me calibrating Caddy live because I can see that my wind overlay is actually off-centered. So I'm just going to go ahead and recenter that so that it is actually useful to use. All right, let's go ahead and give this a crack. So, Cara, you've already played this round, haven't you?
I have actually. So I did use a hybrid of D1s and premium balls.
Nice.
Carol.
I know, but only for the par fives.
I used D1s the whole lot. I ended up 2 shots behind you, but it's...
Yeah, those...
chance at the par fives, you know?
Those
Banger said he was going to do it all with D1, so I thought I'd match that. Although I did cheat because I used a Mojave on hole 1.
Yeah.
No, this one I just used a D1 because I had a good win. But I think I only got 999 anyways. So
they're actually a great ball to use when you're running low on the Pro Ds. They're that extra win that you get from them. Yeah, great ball.
Yeah, it's just a bit hard to control.
Yeah, and
Swing needle moves very fast.
You don't want to be putting from distance with those.
No.
All right, so I'm well inside no adjust here. I'm just going to line it straight up. For those of you who aren't aware of the no adjust range, all you need to do is zoom out to max, and if your whole avatar is inside the white circle that you can see, then all you need to do is line your shot up and it'll go in. Hey, Hologram, thanks for joining, buddy. Appreciate that, mate. Yep, very exciting times. It's definitely a nice app, and I'm glad to finally have it out there. It's been a long process to get here, but we're here. And for any iOS users, I'm sure I'm going to get a question about the iOS version. We are going to start very shortly.
Did you put shot arcs on Banger or not?
Did I put what on? Shot arcs?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't, mate. 1 second. You're on hole 2 waiting for me, are you?
I'm on hole 2 waiting for you.
Go and hit your drive and I'll make sure that I can see him. Otherwise, I'll back out.
No, I have hit the drive.
All right, let me back out. All right, we'll get back in there and hopefully I can see you. And so, yeah, depending on time, I will definitely be doing the front 9, but I made a promise to my daughter that I would take her to the pool today. I've been teaching her to swim, and I said, if you can manage to do a whole lap of the pool, I'll take you to the water slide. And she did 5 laps. It's amazing what a bit of motivation can do. So, yeah, we're going to the pool today, so at least the front 9. Hey, Daddy-O. Thanks, buddy. Yep. Very happy with how it looks. It's turned out great, and the response has been so good. I'm very excited with how things are so far. We've had... Oh, look at that. Look at that tailwind. Lucky man.
Oh, I've got a headwind.
I still can't see you. Just make sure my shot arcs are on. Yeah, they are.
No.
Right,
I don't know if it's because I'm replaying. Maybe you can't see me. I'm not sure.
No, you can still see. I think sometimes it takes a hole to kick in after you've put your shot arcs on. So I'll back out once more and give it another try.
I'll take a shot.
Did you get a tail on your drive?
No, I got a cross one like you.
Oh,
and it didn't make the green again.
That's right, mate. Got Caddy. Easy drop. So hopefully I'll get a chance to actually demonstrate the wedge ruler. It's a pretty cool feature.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, there's plenty of long holes here. I think I'll get a chance. So we'll go... there he is. I found you, mate.
You found me?
Yeah.
I just went in for an eagle.
I saw that. All right, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I actually only just put the the live version on this phone last night, so you'll see that my bag's not actually set up yet. But that's okay. Yeah, sorry, Daddy. Back to Caddy. Yeah, super excited to finally have it out there. And as I said, we've had a really positive response. Honestly, I am blown away at the response we've had. You know, everyone's getting to understand how to use it really quickly and having a lot of success with it. So, yeah, that was my main goal, and to see so many people doing so well with it, just super exciting. Yeah.
I think because it's quite intuitive, it hasn't been too hard to actually get your head around how to operate it.
Yeah, and that was the goal. You know, we wanted it to be user friendly and sort of easy to understand with the game. Oh no, I'm going to miss this putt. Just moved at the last second. There you go. You get to see one of those live. Not as bad as a Henry miss. One of the guys in our club is an absolute fiend for missing putts from this range that I'm at right now. It's a bit of a running joke.
It only proves that you're human.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Good. You're human.
I'll blame the game. It was glitching. All right.
You would have been better off not actually getting on the green, banger.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty long range, that one. It was a bad angle too. I was coming down the slope and take my mulligan. I wonder when they will bring out the mulligan pins. I reckon that's something that's going to get added. I don't know. But we'll see. All right, I'm going to blast this one and give the old wedge roller a crack. Actually, before that...
We're going to completely different choices here then.
Oh, there he is. That's you? Are you a... What's your avatar, mate?
Oh, that's Jeannie. She knows what it is. Jeannie gave it to me to wear for a weekend, so I'm not sure what it is. It's not my...
It's Iron Fist. Iron Fist. That's a character.
Iron Fist.
It's a Marvel character.
So I'm going to show you guys live how to use the wedge calibrator. So before you actually start using the wedge tool, you need to set it up on your screen. So to do that, you just zoom all the way out, pull your wedge or whichever club you're using to calibrate it with. Has to be a wedge, a rough iron, or a sand wedge. But you just pull it out to max and then line it up on screen, hit the OK button, and we are now calibrated. So I'm going to go and switch back to D1s.
Do you have to calibrate it when you change to D1, or once you've calibrated on TP, it just is fine for going to any other ball?
No, it's fine because it still calculates the same distance. So yeah, you don't need to worry about using D1 to calibrate it. I did
it on the gearhead like you originally said to do.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it. It just gives you, it reduces the margin for error.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if it's a D1 or another ball because it's a distance-based measure.
Oh, okay.
It's actually just factoring what the distance is. So, so it doesn't matter what ball you use. All right, I'm going to...
Did you get in there? I saw you go past me anyway.
I'm probably about 50% 5 range here, I reckon.
Bigfoot goes and hits the post.
Oh, I saw that. That was nice and close. All right, so let's see. So I've been getting some questions on the Caddy Facebook group about having trouble getting your measure for a hive when you're at max zoom, which happens a lot. It's very hard to see the bullseye. What I do if I can't actually see it, I'll use that spinning circle and line those triangles up vertically so that I can actually get a better view, because you can still see them quite easily. So that's the best way to do it. I'll just wait until they're aligned top to bottom vertically, and then I'll use that as my marker. All right, so I'm at 60% range. This one's going to be a challenge. Nice test for the old Caddy. So I've got it turning back on itself here, and it, without any side spin, it's naturally kicking back to the left. So I should be able to go straight at it, but I might be a little bit off. I might need to offset, but we'll see. You'll see how close it gets anyway. I need the duff cam for you, Aaron, to watch this one come in.
I don't know how to do that.
All right, well, yeah, that's going to be left. Oh, look how short that was. Okay, so the secondary kicked in for the backspin. I'll know that for the next one. I bet you I'll offset for it next time, and it'll kick straight. It won't kick in, and it'll roll past. Yeah, I should have known better. 8.1 mile an hour wind. That was always going to have a big element of backspin.
It was headwind as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rookie move.
It's the pressure you're under.
That's
streaming.
Right. That's the pressure.
Showing everybody how good it is.
Pressure of going live. Hey, Doc. Thanks, buddy. Yep, the Wedge calibrator is a game changer, mate. If you're not on the Caddy Facebook page, I urge you to go and have a look. One of the boys from Whiskey Business posted a video there today. He dropped I think it was a 69%.
Brad.
Yeah, or 61% long range Adobe shot. Beautiful drop. And it's, I think I've said it before, but that tool is going to save a lot of rounds for you guys. Brad was, I think, 3 drops through 4 holes, got a bit of a glitch on the next hole and ended up short in the bunker. And he was able to use the tool to save the birdie and keep going. So it's pretty awesome. I'm very happy with it.
I had that yesterday. It was glitch on the 4th hole of the Q meet, and it just went hard left. The needle, I released my finger off the needle, and it just kept on going. It's like, I'm restarting now.
I've had a few of those. God, they're frustrating, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's I'll be doing it via Wi-Fi. I think when you're on Wi-Fi, it gets a bit sketchy sometimes. But anyway.
Yeah, I was on Discord at the same time, and I think it was just taking up a bit much.
Yeah, that'll make a difference. Oh, look at this.
He said doing the same thing today.
Look at this. Dead nuts headwind. If I was ever going to have a chance to drop one on the stream, it was going to be this hole. Right, so let's have a look. Excuse that background noise. We've got a new puppy, and my wife's just arrived home, and she's excited. All right, so
you got a headwind going into the hole.
Yeah, perfect headwind.
Oh, I've got a nasty 8 mile an hour side wind, or three quarter.
So I think the setup for this one is supposed to be tail, head, side, I think. But I don't know whether they ended up setting it up that way. It's yeah. So you guys, I don't know whether you can see that on the screen, but I've got my ball guide, the tip of my ball guide through the hole here. So I'm aiming it past the cup, and that's because the Pro D has a lot more secondary wind effect than other balls. So I'm always gonna, if I've got a nuts headwind like this, I'm always gonna set it up past the cup. All right, so 7.5.
I had to pull down into that bunker.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest issue with Pro Ds. The fact that you've got so many rings to adjust, often you'll be pulling back down into a different elevation. Makes it really hard to do. All right, so I've got a 7.6 ring adjust here. See how close we can get. Now, because I like to pull all of my rings in one go, if I'm doing less than 10 rings, when you've got a Pro D shot, you have to pull out your zoom a little bit more. So if I'm using a premium ball, when I'm doing something like a 4-ring adjust or less, I'll zoom right in and get a really accurate measure. But because I want to do it all in one pull, I don't have enough screen real estate to do that with a Pro D. So it's a bit of a guess, but you'll see how close I get. Okay, so as I said, pass the cup.
Did you add your tops 2 rings? Take 2 rings of backspin off on this, or?
No, I didn't on this one because I'd already set it up past the hole.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'll do it that way next hole, just to show another method to do the same thing. Come on.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what you said about backspin when it was a tailwind.
Oh!
Oh! Closer than me.
Robbed.
Good shot.
Robbed. Hey, who's that? Who have we got in?
Kenny Powers.
Kenny effing Powers. Hey, brother. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was brutal. That should have dropped.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Anyway, you can see how close you can get with the Pro D. The numbers are solid. Hologram, I still use a phone, mate. I'm on an S10 Plus, which is these days a pretty small phone. I bought a new phone, but for some reason it's a bit skippy when you play a hole. I can't get a really accurate adjustment with it, so unfortunately I have to stick with my old phone, which sucks. I pretty much only bought it to play UG, but yeah, shit happens.
Rattler time, Jimmy.
It is Rattler Day. Let's go. So this one I am definitely going to do the 2 bars of backspin off. And I will still set it up past the cup. So,
past the hole still?
Past the hole, and then I'll take a couple of bars off. The secondary effect on a short iron shot is massive. So yeah, you really have to overcompensate for it. So we'll start with max backspin. Let's have a look. So that's 10 rings.
First bounce at the hole, maybe?
First bounce still in front of the hole. Second bounce past the hole, and then I'll take the backspin off. I'm 10 rings, so we'll go 10.7. Yeah, so you can see there I'm still quite a way past the cup. And I want to be right at the cup here.
Okay, I'm going 10-8.
Yep, I think I was 10-8.
No, I was 10-8, 11.
So I've got, that's probably about a 45-degree headwind. So in a 45-degree headwind, I'm not going to take off 2 bars. I'll probably only do 1.5. I think that one there was a little bit less than 1.5. All right, so 10.8, 7.7. Probably want to go a little bit right of the cup here. that's going to kick back and go to the left. So that's probably too much. All right, let's have a look at that. So 12.5 rings. So I pull my 10 rings first. And then,
oh no, great shot.
Shouldn't matter too much. Pro D's got a pretty...
too short. That rolled back.
Yeah, that kicked, didn't it? How much headwind did you have?
7-9.
What angle? Was it a straight head?
5 o'clock maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, so as I said, past the cup, couple of bars of backspin off at the last minute.
Yeah, I needed to go a little bit further forwards.
I just offset.
Dang it.
Touched too much to the right. So you can see with the Pro D, obviously, you really need to take secondary into consideration, especially with a short iron. But, you know, those little tweaks, you'll get the hang of it. You can play around and get some drops with a Pro D. That one hurt too. 2 close ones in a row. Let's try and actually get a drop here.
It's not going to be the next hole, or you're doing well if you are.
What do we got next? Par 4. Oh, the long par 5. Hey, Kenny, you joined just after I missed a putt, mate. That was very embarrassing.
You missed a what? A putt?
Yeah, I pulled a Henry.
D1?
I pulled a Henry, mate.
Happens to the best of us, buddy.
Yeah, like Carol said, I'm only human. Proves I'm not a droid. I've copped the headwind that you had, Aaron.
I have got a 10 o'clock wind.
Nice. I should be able to get pretty much to no adjust range here, hopefully. That miss on that par 5 hurts. I was going to aim for a top 50, but I reckon I might be out of luck. I'm going to need a few drops to get myself up there.
Well, let's show off the short iron.
What's that, mate?
You get to show off the short iron.
Yeah, true.
Sorry, the wedge tool again.
I think it might be no adjust.
I was going to ask you about that. I keep trying to figure out how to set it up, but I can't get it calibrated right. But
you got an S8, Kenny?
What's that?
You got an S8? What device are you on?
It's a Note 10.
Note. We can have a look. I'll jump on a stream with you later on, and we can have a look. All right, let's see. I think I'm still in no adjust here. It looks like it. If it's not, it's going to be a very small miss. There we go. Thank God for that. 2 birdies on the par 5s would have been ugly. What do we got next, Darren? Par 3. Ooh,
Par 3. A wood par 3.
I think we're going to go with the root here. How'd you go in this tournament, Kenny?
Yeah, I shot a 34 in it earlier.
I keep calling you Kenny, like Justo.
Either way. Yeah, I had a run at it. I did all right.
34. Nice round.
Yeah, but nowadays 34 is like, I'll be lucky you're top 5 with that.
It's crazy how good the scores are getting.
It really is. It really is.
You're getting it's almost to the point where you need a perfect round to win them. I think we're sort of anything less than 14 drops and you're fighting for a place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's, it's gone from, 8-9 will probably win most 18-hole tournaments to now it's like in between, 14 to 18 to win it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, when I did my big runs, I think, I was winning a lot of tournaments with 10 drops.
Yeah.
Just doesn't happen anymore. Just does not happen.
Yeah, I'm saying like 34s, 35s, 36s is pretty normal now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, let's see Aaron come in here.
Long. What are you using? Hellfire or Root?
No, I've gone with the Root, mate.
I tried Hellfire.
Looks like I've got a bit of an uphill pull here, though. I might offset a little bit to the right. Yeah, I mean, obviously Flights has made it more competitive at our level, but not that that's a bad thing. But yeah, it's tough when you're always having to shoot lights out to even have a chance.
Yeah, some days it's rough.
I used to be able to, rush around every now and then, but my rushed rounds these days are usually only good enough for a place. Right, so 7.55 rings. Pulling through the center. Let's see. Should be close. Might be a little bit left. Yep. Oh, get in. Oh. So yeah, that's one thing as well with if you're someone that uses Pro D balls. I think if you've seen my video on the effect of elevation changes when you're doing your adjustment with the Pro D1, you've got to be really careful because you're going to end up a long way from where you started, and a lot of these new greens with all the different undulations, they really make it tough to get a read on where your ball's going to sit when you finish your adjustment. I probably should have taken some more time there, but yeah, if you're used to playing with premium balls, you might only be looking at your elevation 3 or 4 rings away from where you started. But because Pro D, you need to do, you're pulling 7, 8, 9 rings at a time, you need to do a lot more adjustments. So really, the green reading really comes into play, and that's where you win tournaments. Understanding what the green's doing, it's very important. Cool. We got another short one. At least I'll get another eagle here. Alright, so I will actually set this one up. I normally don't bother with my drives. I just use a rough rule of thumb, but
I missed it to the left.
Because I'm pretty close to the rough, and there's a bunch.
Banger, I've got a quick question about the elevation and the new app.
Yes, mate.
Is it uphill is plus or minus? I forget.
So the elevation button is for elevation from shot to landing. So not elevation on the green, just if anyone's interested. But if you're shooting downhill, so if your tee shot starts above your landing, then you use negative. But if you're shooting uphill, so your shot is lower than the landing position, then you use a positive number.
Got it. Thank you.
But it's you don't actually. Honestly, there's a small number of holes where there's a significant elevation change, so you don't really need to use it too much. You'll get to know those holes, but yeah, most of the holes are sort of 1 or 2% elevation at most. So unless you're using something like a Pro D, it probably comes into play more. But with the premium balls, the difference in your adjustment for that elevation change is really marginal. It probably won't affect your shot too much.
Appreciate it.
worries. All right, so let's see if he's on the green. There we go. Needed that tiebreaker. Recover from that missed putt on the first par 5. And he's made the putt. So Aaron, do you play with Pro Ds a lot, mate?
Yeah, I'm playing the cumulative with just Tour Pros and better, but normally I play most of my rounds with Pro D. Or I did GM yesterday. I dropped 5 out of the first 6 holes, so then I switched to Pro D after that.
Yeah, nice. I do that too sometimes. If I'm really hot and it's a qualifier, I'll just, I know if I've got 5 or 6 drops, I'm usually pretty safe, so I'll switch to Pro Ds and save myself some balls. And then save the premiums for the big rounds where I really need to get the drops.
Yeah, I'd done that and amassed a huge amount of TP balls, so I thought it was probably about time I started using them.
Mate, I used to have several thousand. I had a really good stock of trophy balls, but I have burnt so many of them testing for the app. It's actually depressing. I think I'm down to about 650 or some pretty ordinary number.
Okay, I've got a 530 headwind.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to. I've got about maybe a 430. All right, so this one I'll do the taking backspin off approach for this one, just to show a different way to do your shot setup. So I basically set it up like a normal shot, how it would normally behave in a headwind, and then I take backspin off to compensate for the secondary. So I'm 8 rings from max. Way too short there. So 7.7, 7.6. So you can see I'm just doing micro adjustments, just getting myself back to a spot where I'm pretty happy with. Okay, so 7.5. That looks pretty good. So normal, if I was playing this as a normal shot, that would be very close to how I'd set it up. But because I've got the Pro D with the extra secondary, I am going to now take off a little bit over a bar of backspin. Yeah, that looks good. So actually that might be a bit too much because I'm pulling uphill. So you're always in a headwind with a Pro D. You pretty much always want to be having a guide tip going past the hole with something like a Bigfoot. Also 7.5 and a 7.9 mile an hour wind. At least I'm getting them close. I haven't played a proper round with Pro D for a long time, so it's good to be getting them close. I actually enjoy it. It's fun. It's a nice challenge from time to time.
Oh, I had the link.
Get in. I thought that was in. Watching that come in, I thought it was good, mate. All right.
It went a bit right. 890.
Let's see how close I get. Too hot. Yeah, so that one, as I said, because I was pulling back uphill, that actually, it reduces the wind effect is the reason it goes longer. But if you just remember that when you're pulling uphill on the green, it makes your ball go further, then you can use that as a method to adjust for. I'm getting close though. He's getting some 890s with the Pro D. I'm always happy with that. If I can get sort of 885 plus. What have I got? An 898, an 893, and an 895, and a couple of drops. It's a pretty good start with the Pro D. I'm happy with that. Let's see how we go on the back. Yeah, that's right, hologram. So if you're hitting downhill from shot to landing, it reduces your adjustment. So putting the negative in, it's actually inverted. The physics are inverted, but it's because basically the game sets a maximum wind effect based on the shot arc. So the higher you are in the air, the more that your ball is currently being affected by the wind. And as you get lower and lower and lower, the wind effect reduces. So it's not quite how the physics would work, but that's the way that they've set up the physics of the game. So you just need to remember that. If you end up lower than a horizontal position, the actual secondary wind effect is reducing all the time. So that's why you end up with a negative or a reduced adjustment requirement.
Okay, banger. Now I've got a direct tailwind, 8 mile an hour tailwind. How do I set it up for that?
So, hang on, let me just have a quick look at this green. Yeah, so you got a pretty flat pull. I would start with maybe a little bit more than 7 bars of backspin. So start with less than, so almost a couple of bars less than full backspin.
Couple of bars less, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then set your shot up.
And set it up normally for that.
Exactly. And then add the backspin at the end.
Pull it back on.
Correct, yeah. So that's purely just to compensate for that extra rollout for a Pro D. So I've got a bit of a tail. Still want to be in reasonable Bigfoot range here, so should be good.
And okay, so there.
So you got a straight.
9,
you got a 12 o'clock wind, do you?
You fractionally past that, but yeah.
Here's your big chance to drop it, mate.
Don't tell me that.
I've got a 10:30 wind here, so I've gone further. Let's get rid of that rattler. Still want to be. So one of the problems with Pro D, when you're playing with Bigfoot, because you need to give yourself enough range. If you always want to be playing with Bigfoot, you need to give yourself enough range in both a head and a tailwind to be able to adjust back up. So it can be a bit challenging because you end up usually in a lower range for the Bigfoot, and sometimes you might find yourself in between clubs a little bit. But what I do is basically I use my same setup method to get myself back to a max Bigfoot, but I just sort of take off another 5 rings or so. So the marker that I use on screen is a little bit shorter than my regular marker for a premium ball. So I'm really short here. I'm going to get lots of rollout. It's going to be a tough shot. Let's see. Get in there. Oh, get in there. No. Oh. You on the lip?
That was so close, Aaron.
891.
That's brutal. Right, so I am 19 rings from...
That was better, though, because it's quite often I go over. So to know that setting it up with 2 bars off, and then pulling them back on worked quite well there.
Yeah,
maybe I needed a slight bit more, but
it's a good way to do it. Just gives you that a little bit more control. I mean, a lot of people use that method with premium balls for a lightning rod. They'll start with a bar less backspin in a tail, set it up, and then add that bar of backspin back on. Okay. I found it, a really useful way to play with Pro Ds as well. So, nice tip. It's worth taking some time to get consistent with it because it works.
I'll try it on the par 3 then. We'll go to par 3 after that.
Nice. All right. Let's. 18 rings from max here. We'll go 18.5 and have a look. That looks pretty good. 18.5 rings.
.3.
I think this might end up a little bit left of the cup, but doesn't matter. We just want to get close with the Pro D. Right, 6.6 rings. So 6.6 rings, I will start. This is just the way I do it. You can, as long as you're always pulling through the center, you're fine, but this is the way that I do it. If you guys want to try and replicate that, I will start 1.6 rings past the bullseye. And then
what are you on?
Pull through to the other side. And the reason I do that is because I always start with my, whatever my adjustment value is. If I have an increment less than a ring, I start with that first because that one is closest to my screen. So it gives me more precision when I'm setting up my my position for my ring pull. All right, let's see how close we get here. Oh, get in. Oh! I think I did the same as you. You left yours a little bit short, mate.
Yeah.
Yep, same here. That was a deceptive one because it looked like it had a pretty strong downhill roll at the cup. I should have notes on all of these holes. That's one thing I've actually never ever taken hole notes. Surprisingly,
no, I never have either.
I always like to approach a hole as if it's the first time that I've played it.
Yeah, it doesn't help me half the time, right? I make the same mistake time after time.
It definitely doesn't help at all. Always, and then I'll remember after I make the same mistake. I'm like, I did that last time.
Yeah.
I'll note that for next time, and then I don't. All right, so I've got not a strong tail here, but a little bit of tailwind element. So I'm going to
shoot. Here we go.
I'm going to leave almost a bar of backspin off, but not quite.
Look at that!
He's in!
It's in!
Nice drop, mate.
So that was your 2 bars backspin off, set up, and then pull them back on.
Beautiful. It works. It works.
Certainly did.
Yeah, no, it's as I said, really nice way to do it. You get that consistency.
Because I've been guessing the rollout a lot, and just by pulling it further back and adjusting further back.
Yeah, because I mean,
well, I tried the headwind one this morning, but
that amount of backspin and topspin gives you, as I said, just gives you that consistency, and you'll see. You know, obviously, you're still looking at your shot arc to get an understanding of how much rollout you're going to get, but you can just sort of forget a little bit about the fact that you're using a Pro D because the numbers are tight. They get you back to the right spot, so rollout is still key. But you can kind of forget about that and just focus on the rollout and then add or subtract that backspin to really get a better view of how that ball's going to roll out.
Yeah, I mean, I had an 1130 tailwind, so I was fairly
that's a pretty strong tail.
Confident that I could basically set it up straight in the hole too without any offset.
Yeah. So see what I was saying before, Normally I'm looking somewhere here for my elevation change when I'm doing my adjustment, but I'm going to have something like a 7 ring pull here. So I need to be out here, looking out here, and I can see that I'm going to end up pulling uphill quite a little bit. So I'm going to set it up a little bit left of the cup. I might even go back a little bit more than that actually. So 12, we'll go 12.1. 12.2 should be good. Yep, that looks good to me. Make sure I'm still in the right spot.
So this is where you'd let off 1 bar of backspin, is it, on that sort of angle?
No, so I've got
to set it up?
To set it up. Yep. So I've got, I don't actually have quite one bar. It's like 0.9 of a bar of backspin. And that's, so it's sort of anywhere from 0 backspin change in a side wind all the way through to 2 bars if you've got a straight head or tail wind.
Okay.
So I sort of use the angle as a marker for how much I need to offset. All right, so 7.35, I'll just go 7 1/3. So again, I start with the third of a ring, 2.33 outside the bullseye, pull all the way through to the other side. That looks pretty good. Pretty close. Mine looks good. Oh, too hot. So I should have probably used a bar of backspin off there, but as you can see, really tight line. It's just really hard to read the rollout with a Pro D, especially when you don't play with them often. If you someone that uses them regularly, you'll have a much better idea of how the rollout looks. And
headwind here
on your drive or your approach?
On my drive.
Brutal.
8 mile an hour.
You might get to use the wedge roller too, mate.
I'll be equipping myself with the El Capitan and hopefully getting there.
So there's actually there's a bit of a hot spot on this hole.
They tell me that just after I've teed off.
I see.
Oh, I got a tailwind approach.
Nice. I don't know whether you can see my Discord screen, mate, but if you,
I have to just jump out of here and come back in. I'm doing it all on the same device, so.
If you, for those watching, you can see that hot spot right there as I come up.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're
just running past me.
Yeah, if you've got...
What's your wind? You've got a similar wind to what I had. I'm almost a bit more head.
Yeah, if you've got a headwind on... there's a lot of holes, actually, that have this kind of hotspots. So you just got to look for them. The Easter eggs in the game. Alright. Let's see how close I can get to you here. The secondary's still going to pull it back, but hopefully I hit that hotspot nicely and get a decent rollout. There we go. So there you go, look at that. Got another 15 yards past you there. I didn't get your tailwind though. That's okay. I mean,
I've got a big tailwind and full extension of topspin gets me almost to the flag, so I might pull it back to the edge of the green.
I think this approach shot's got some hot spots there too. Yeah, it does. I want to try and avoid them. I want a consistent rollout for these kind of shots, so I'm going to try and get away from the hot spot. As you can see, I'm just sweeping the target around the hole, just looking for a spot that's got a consistent rollout. This is probably my best spot here, I think.
Okay, I'm going to go there. Could go too long, though, it's the trouble.
So one good thing, if you haven't seen it yet, but when you open the Caddy screen and select your club, just above the club icon, there is a percentage value, and that's the shot view of the club that you're currently using. So it just gives you you can use it as a quick reference, and then for these longer ones with the longer rollout, get a decent look at it. Let's watch Aaron come in here.
Oh, stop.
Oh, that was hot. All right, so that
37 feet.
No pressure, mate. No pressure. So 7.7.
No pressure.
Side wind. lots of offset needed here. Might even let it go a little bit more.
I'm thinking maybe I should have just not put top spin on that, and that probably would have been okay.
Yeah, so the whole secondary wind effect with a D1 in a tail, if you think about it, you still use the same approach, but you probably want to take an extra couple of bars off. So like if you were in a position where you had 3 bars of top spin and it looked okay, because you've got a lot more rollout, that secondary is really going to kick in. So you probably want to take those 3 bars back off.
Yeah, I didn't take enough off. I took 3 off, I think, but it needed more than that. Anyway.
So 7.8. So 2.8 from the bullseye, pulling all the way through. If I can get close here, I'm happy. No chance for drop, but we should get close. Kick left.
It's a lot better than mine, Jimmy.
I was going to say, that's not too bad. I'll take that. So, yeah, secondary with a club that's got a lot of top spin, like particularly your woods, secondary wind effect with those is really hard to judge.
It's large.
Yeah. I think you're up on me here, mate. Even without that drop, that's right. I missed that. I missed that part.
You missed that part, yeah. So I've probably got 2 shots on you.
Tough. All right.
Doesn't happen very often, mate.
Frame it, buddy. Up on the bedroom wall.
So I did beat you a few times when you were calibrating the caddy. That was quite
when I was
quite nice.
When I was shooting plus 50 and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was quite pleased with those rounds.
I got sent a few screenshots when I was doing the calibration. Just people like, what are you doing? Are you okay, man? Just doing a welfare check. All right, so I have got a very strong headwind here, 8 mile an hour. So I'm going to pretty much keep 2 bars of top spin off, set it up at the cup, and then add the backspin back on. I've got a little bit of an uphill pull, maybe. Only a touch. I'm 10 rings there. I did it the wrong way. So 10 rings. 9.5. 9.8. It's probably a touch too close. 9.9. All right, so I'm happy with that, and now I'm going to go and take the backspin off. So I'll set my shot up to a spot that I'm happy with. Yep, that looks good. And now I'll take that backspin back off. Should be good. Alright, so 9.9 rings, 8.3 mile an hour wind, 8 1/3. Let's watch Aaron's shot here. Oh, that was tight. Just a little bit right of the cup there, mate.
Yeah, I had a great shot to the right as well.
I hate that because you don't know if it's your setup or the
exactly.
The then. So frustrating. All right, let's get a drop here. Or let's get close. I'm probably going to leave it short now. Oh, look at that length. That was perfect. 898. So the uphill pull there pushed me right at the cup. I should have offset more to the left, but they're the kind of little tweaks that you'll get if you're going to use a Pro D ball. those little tweaks you'll start to pick up. But as you
Makes a
saw,
difference.
I was well past the cup. My ball guide was, past the back edge of the cup, and I still ended up right in line with the hole. So rollout speed, using backspin and topspin adjustment after you've set up to offset for the secondary is a really consistent method. All right.
Similar.
Yeah. So I'm always just outside range. I want to use it. I want to demo the wedge tool. I want a long range wedge shot, but doesn't look like I'm going to get one today. Anyway.
They gave you the wrong course. Frontier Frenzy on Sadiat's the one you wanted to do it on, right?
Yeah.
There was a loss on that.
I still haven't played it yet. I'm going to get into that one later today. Big Easy in the house, buddy. How you going? Thanks for coming along, mate. Cheers. All right. So, left to right break here. A little bit of headwind component, but not much. So right there, I'm 6.5 from max. I'm definitely pulling downhill. So that means I'm going to be shorter, but over-adjusted towards the angle of the wind. So I'm going to go right up to the cup here. So that's 6.3. And I only want it to be a touch left because I've got a pretty strong angular component to this pull. So take the backspin off, have another look. That looks pretty good to me. Right, so 6.3 rings, 7.3 mile an hour wind. Yeah, next time we do this, I'll have to grab your screen and we'll...
Oh, I've lit it.
That was tight. Yeah, I'll grab your screen and we'll get both screens up, mate.
I don't have enough devices.
That looks good. Crossing fingers. Great ball shouldn't matter. Get in. There it is, dead center.
Nice.
That was a nice drop. So you can see on that one, not a huge headwind, but enough that I needed to take some backspin off. So finally got a nice drop. There you go. You get to see how the Pro Ds work.
Another par 5 with a headwind. This one's not too bad though. It's a shorter one than the other ones.
Yeah, I've got a headwind too. Ugly headwind really on this hole. Should be able to still get to a little bit of top spin on a Hellfire coming in, I think. I'm going to have to do a short on that drop. That last drop was nice. Really enjoyed that one.
Are you recording?
No, but you can actually cut little bits of your YouTube videos out. You can go and edit later. Pretty cool. So I can turn that into a short video and post it. Alright, so I've got I don't know whether you can see. Have you got a headwind coming in, mate?
I have got 90 degrees to the left, a west wind.
I've got a headwind and there is a huge
west
hot spot.
Let me go there. West with no backspin, but no topspin either.
So you'll probably still need to do a secondary offset. Not much though. You should be okay. You should get away with just a touch. So the extra secondary here with a bit of topspin. I pretty much want to put this one in the cup because I've got a nice, really nice straight headwind here. Yeah, that looks good to me. I'm going to just go for it.
Okay, I'll get two more ticks there then, and we'll see what happens.
9 rings, 7.9 mile an hour. I reckon this might end up even being a little bit short. With a premium ball, there's no way that I would set it up with the guide tip that close because I've got 86% shot view, so I know that I can leave it a bit short, but I might even just one more tick. All right, let's go for it. There's a right to left roll out here too, so I don't know how much that's going to impact it, but we'll see.
I was well left.
Oh, look at that. Look how short that ended up. So yeah,
I can't even see it on my screen.
Shut up. The secondary on Hellfire with a Pro D is huge.
That's quite huge.
Like the other clubs. I should have put that through the cup.
I got a 1748 and I set it up right of the cup and it went that far left of the cup.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy how much the extra secondary kicks in on the woods. Even with the root, when you've got full backspin, you still really notice that the extra secondary. So it's always good to take note of that. All right.
Oh, you might. Here you go.
Let's give it a
Next
blast.
hole is one for it. Put the fusion in there.
I think I should be just outside, no adjust. So I'll give the wedge tool a hit. Oh no, I'm on the green.
Get there.
I'm on the green.
You're
Damn it! I wanted to be short. Now the pressure part.
Don't miss the putt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Henry's not watching. That one's in. That one's in. Get in the hole. There we go. Redeemed myself. My putter's working again. All right, 2 to play. Let's get another drop. Oh, hang on. I think I might even make the top 50. That was my goal at the start of the round. Let's see.
Just to play D1s and get to top 50.
I need...
I'm falling behind you.
Oh, I'm going to make it. Look at that. As long as I don't get a par, I am good. Might have enough room to use the root here. Let's have a look. I do. Awesome. All right, so...
I'm pulling back into that bunker again.
Yeah, so I don't have the bunker, but I'm pulling back off the side of the green. And if you... I don't know whether you guys can see that on the stream, but there's a huge, really big downhill slope there. So I need to think about that when I'm setting up my shot. Plenty of tailwind though, so that'll keep it rolling. I might just, because I want to be at max. I want to be right up against that cup. I said about a 45-degree tail, that much rollout. So typically, I would probably set that up further back, but I know that once so you can see as, I'm pulling downhill there, maybe a foot once I get to the end of my adjustment. So that's really going to slow it up. but it's also going to mean I am over pulling to the left. So I don't even know how much to offset it here. I'll just keep it on the right edge of the cup. That looks pretty good. Even though I'm really close here, I don't think I'm going to be hot coming in, but there's every chance I end up to the left here. That's probably the biggest worry I've got, but at least if I call my miss and then make the miss. Oh, that was way over, mate. What happened?
Yeah, I thought I was going to pull back down into the bunker, but I didn't. So I'd adjusted to pull back down in the bunker, and I couldn't be bothered going and setting it back up.
Yeah.
There was a bit of laziness involved.
That's half my problem these days. I get lazy. I'm like, yeah, that'll be close. I'll do all my setup, and then I'll pull down a bunker, and I didn't factor that in, and then I just like, yeah, whatever. I'll just play the shot. All right, so let's give this a crack. So as I said, closer than I'd normally set up. So the downhill elevation side to side didn't play as much as I expected to. The speed was good there, but I still ended up a bit right of the cup, so I could have gone straight at it. That's a shame. That would have been a nice drop. All right, last hole. Let's get into the top 50. Someone's going to come and snipe me later, I'm sure of that.
Probably yourself. You'll probably go and have another go at it.
No, I'm not. I set up play with Pro Ds and only do it once, so that's what I'm doing. Man of my word. It's going to look ugly on the Benner reel, but that's okay. Oh, this one's a long hole.
It is a long hole.
I don't know whether to blast. I think I'm going to end up between clubs if I do that. You've got a root coming in there?
I blasted and I'm right at minimum hellfire.
Yeah, right.
But I don't need to pull back. So
I might just come back a bit, I think. I'm probably going to end up in a pretty similar spot. All right, guys, if you're just joining us or if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, go on over and hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate having you guys as subscribers, and you'll get notified when I've got new content coming out. I'm going to have a lot of advice on how to use the Caddy coming out in the next few weeks. And I'm also going to be doing general hole tutorials for all the courses in the game. So I started with the Sardiat course this week, and heaps of people have been giving me some great feedback on that. It's really helped them understand how the greens play. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please go and do that. I would sincerely appreciate it, and you'll get notified when I've got more stuff coming out. All right.
Let's get there to go. 7.
I've got a very, very heavy headwind here.
Have you gone for root?
I have.
Okay.
Just
root versus hellfire.
Just to minimise the more backspin you can use, the less secondary wind will come into play. So that 9 times out of 10, I'm looking for the shot that reduces my secondary wind effect as much as possible.
Okay, yeah, of course.
But then you'll get in situations where you have to use hellfire or you have to use the lightning rod because your root shot doesn't play. And I had one of them in the playthrough on the back 9 for Sardiat. I thought I got to max Bigfoot, but I was just outside and I had a headwind. So I had to switch to lightning rod because there wasn't enough space for me to adjust into a route. So, so you find, I'm always looking for the shot that's going to give me the most consistency, and that's more backspin, less secondary, easier to line up at the hole. But when you need those other clubs, you've got solid numbers in the caddy ready to go. So
I didn't offset enough.
I see it looks like I'm pulling downhill a bit there, but I think if I go and I probably am. So I'll stick with where I am. I think I'm 9 rings. So I was happy with that rollout. As I said, I've got a strong headwind, so I'm going to go ahead and take off backspin on that shot. Alright, so 9 rings from max. 8.5 mile an hour wind. Can we finish with a drop? Oh, glitched right at the last second there. Oh, look at that. We're almost touching balls, mate.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a drop, but it was bloody close.
You had a few close ones all the way through.
Yeah, I'm going to go and have a look. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 in the 90s. 898, 893, 895, 898, 895, 896. 6 holes in the 890s with Pro Ds the whole way, and a couple of nice drops. I'm pretty happy with that. Like, as I said, I don't play Pro D balls a lot these days. I used to play a Pro D a lot, and I had a really good feel for how they were going to play. But you do get out of practice with those tough balls if you're not using them all the time. So anyway, that's it, you guys. A nice little look at the caddy. As you can see, the numbers are nice and tight. If you want to play with Pro Ds, you've got a good option now. A couple of nice tips on how to change your game up a little bit if you're someone who prefers a Pro D. So tips for you guys if you want to go and use that. Aaron, it's been a pleasure, mate. That was fun, buddy. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, no worries.
And for you other guys that joined me on the stream, appreciate you coming on as well. Bit of fun, and we'll do it again probably next weekend. I'll plan to do a Pro-D round every week or two and give you guys some more pointers on playing on a table.
Yeah, I'm out of it. I'm out of action next weekend. I'm going to Perth, but
nice one.
Another time.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for coming along, guys. As I said, if you haven't done so yet, go and hit subscribe. Plenty more content coming out. Going to help you guys get more of those juicy drops. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Bye.